What's up, guys? I'm back today with a quick tips and tricks video for you. I'm going to go over how I do some basic jobs such as setting your pinion gear mesh, centering your servo horn, setting your gyro endpoints, and a few other things. If you find anything in this video useful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of our how-to videos, new product showcases, and our monthly comp series live streams. So let's get into it. I'm going to kick this video off by showing you how to set the proper pinion to spur gear mesh on your car. First, let's loosen the screws on the motor mount. Now, the easiest way for beginners to set the mesh is with a piece of paper. An old receipt works great for this. All you do is put the paper in between the pinion and spur and hold the motor against the spur. You can roll the spur back and forth and make sure the pinion is properly seated into the spur. Tighten it down. And then you can roll the paper back out. Now you should be able to feel a slight gap in the mesh. It shouldn't have absolutely no play in it, and I heard you don't want the tip of the pinion teeth to touch the valley of the spur teeth. I've set meshing so many times now that I can do it by feel, and maybe one day you'll do this enough times to be able to set it correctly just by feel, but this is usually the easiest way to set it correctly for beginners. Now I'm going to show you how to center your servo horn. This should be done anytime a new servo is installed. First, we're going to go to the remote and we're going to make sure all the trims and sub-trims for channel 1, which is your steering, are set to default and zeroed out. This process will vary based on the remote you're using, but I'm going to show you on my Futaba 7P XR today. First, going to the user menu to find my sub-trim setting, making sure that's all zeroed out for channel 1. Now, I haven't seen a menu setting like that for a regular steering trim on the 7P XR, but by default it's assigned to this DT1 rocker switch, so whatever you have it assigned to, just make sure your steering trim is zeroed out too. After those are set, we can power up the servo. I'm using a benchtop setup here with a spare servo we have and one of my trusty Gen 6 batteries for the sake of not pulling an entire car out to show you, but you can plug your servo into channel 1 on your receiver and power your car on. I'm going to power this on, and that should set the servo at its center point if all your trims are zeroed out. Now we can take our servo horn and put it on. Now, depending on what steering system you have, most bell crank cars will require the servo horn straight up and down like this. It can vary chassis to chassis. I know the D5 requires the horn to be put off center in order to center the steering. The Yokomo slide rack cars require the slide rack specific horn like this to be put on perpendicular to the servo, like this. So refer to your chassis manual for proper servo horn placement. Now, most of your servo horns are probably not going to be able to line up with the exact center point of where you need it to be. That's fine, just put it on as close as you can get it within a tooth of the servo spline, and then it can be centered out after using trim. With this process, you should be able to center the horn using only sub-trim. If your steering is not straight after doing this, readjust the linkage that goes from your servo horn to your chassis. Most chassis will have an adjustable turnbuckle for this linkage. After your horn is set, remember to reset your gyro endpoints. We got the benchtop set up again, and now I'm going to show you how to bind a new Futaba receiver to your remote. I'm going to show you on two different types of receivers. First is your regular surface receiver like this R203GF that comes with the 3PV remotes, and this R2106GF receiver, which is a great cheap receiver we sell if you just need basic channel 1, 2, and 3 functions without any telemetry functions, or if you don't use the Futaba servos and gyros. So these receivers use the SFHSS protocol, so you're going to want to go into your receiver type selection on your Futaba radio. This process will vary depending on your remote, so check your user manual on which menu to go to for receiver binding. My remote is currently on TFHSS for telemetry systems, so I'm going to want to switch it to this 2.4 gigahertz SFHSS mode. I have this ProTech digital servo hooked up to it, so I'm going to want to switch this response mode to digital servo as well. I think the 3PV and 4PM lack this setting, so don't worry about that if you're using those remotes. Now I can power the receiver or car on. I'm going to hold the link button down The green light will come on, and now the remote is connected. Now I'm going to show you how to bind one of the R334 receivers. These are used for the Futaba servos and GYD 550 gyro, as well as the Accuvance and Futaba ESC telemetry stuff. If you watch my video on Accuvance and Futaba setup, you'll only be using these receivers if you have a 4PM, 7, or 10PX. So going back into the receiver type menu, I'm going to select TFHSS telemetry system. If you're using the SR mode on a Futaba servo, you would choose TFHSS SR. Again, setting response mode to digital servo. Now I'm going to power the receiver on and hold the link button down on the receiver first this time. It'll start flashing, meaning it's in bind mode. Then I'll hit link on the radio, and it should be bound and ready to go. Setting gyro endpoints is a pretty easy procedure, but really important in getting the gyro to function properly and safely. There are different ways to do this, but I'm going to show you how I usually do it. I'm going to be using this YD2S with the Yokomo V4 gyro paired to a Sanwa MX6 remote. The remote side settings are going to be pretty universal to all remotes, but the procedure for setting the endpoints on the gyro can vary between different gyros. Check your gyro manual on the gyro endpoint process for your model. On the V4, I'm going to start by holding the endpoint button on the gyro, power the car on, and then release once I have this bicolor flashing LED. Now I'm going to head to the remote where I have it set in the endpoint adjustment setting for the steering. You can see when I turn left and right, it switches between the left and right endpoints. What I'm going to begin by doing is turning all of these points below where I want them set at. Now you can see the steering is not turning as far as I need it to. And then I'm going to start turning them back up until I hit the stoppers I have installed on the knuckles, and then a couple points past that, and only a couple points. What I do is turn the wheel all the way, and if I can push the wheel on the car in more before it hits the stopper, I know I can turn the endpoint up more. I know all of you may not have stoppers on your car. In this case, just go up to the point where you're happy with your steering angle without the inside rim of the wheel touching any suspension arms or links. Once you have those points on the remote set, you can turn fully one way and set your gyro endpoint there. Turn fully the other way and set your second endpoint there. And then you're all done. So even some of your most basic and entry-level remotes, such as this Futaba 3PV, are 3-channel remotes or more, and have the ability to control your gyro gain through the channel 3 wire from the gyro. To do this though, you need to have the channel 3 control set up properly. On the higher end remotes, such as the 4PM and 7 and 10PX, I usually set this to the onboard dial. On remotes like the 3PV, you're usually stuck with one of the trim switches near the wheel for this, but it'll all work the same. On the 3PV, we're going to go to this menu setting for DT3, and we're going to change it to CH3. DT3 is this trim switch right here. Then scroll over to this SW1 setting. This is going to be for this switch, and we're going to change it from CH3 to off. After that, you can control your gain from this switch from negative 100% to positive 100%. On the 4PMs, 7 and 10PXs, we're going to go into the user menu, then scroll over to this trim dial select setting, and we can see channel 3 control is defaulted to DT3. That's this switch right here. If we want to change it to the dial, we can click on DL1, and set channel 3 control to that, and then deselect channel 3 control from the DT3 switch. The step option over here will determine how many points your channel 3 control moves for every one click of the switch or dial. I usually turn this down to 1 for precise control. There's a lot of alignment racks and setup stations out there available, but honestly, I don't use any of them anymore. I found that it's a lot simpler and quicker for me to take a measurement of a linkage on one side of the car and then match the linkage on the other side up to it, and really no chassis kit manufacturers are giving you instructions on how to put these cars together, assuming you have a setup station to set your car up to their specs. They're all giving you measurements to micrometer the links out to, so I'm going to show you how to do a basic micrometer alignment. Now, this method won't tell you exact degrees of your alignment, but as long as your suspension is undamaged and your linkage ball cups match side to side, then this will ensure that your alignment matches left to right. A camber gauge and a setup board with toe degree marks can help you get a numerical value to look at, but I honestly eyeball my toe and camber settings because I already know generally where they need to be. But for the sake of example, I'm gonna hit this side with the camber gauge, and we're sitting at about 5 degrees on this side. Now, I've purposely messed up the camber on the other side, but let's say we're good with a setting of 5 degrees of camber for the front. I'm gonna micrometer this camber link out. This is where a good micrometer comes in handy. And I have a reading of about 10.39 millimeters. Now I'm gonna measure the other side. And I have a reading of about 12.62 millimeters. So I know I need to make the other side shorter to match the other link. If you look closely on most turnbuckles, you'll see a line on the hex. This determines if the link will get longer or shorter depending on which way you turn it, so I try to put this line facing the same on all the links. So I know I can turn each link the same way to shorten or lengthen it. So I'm gonna adjust this link until it matches the other side. Make sure to turn these ball cups flat again after you finish adjusting so the suspension can work properly. That should be good enough. Now that this side measures the same, I'm gonna hit both sides with a camber gauge to see. So this side is at 5 degrees again. And this side is at 5 degrees as well. So we're good. You would do the toe linkages and any other links the same way. There's already plenty of videos online on how to charge your LiPo batteries, but I figure we're already here, right? So I have this excellent Gens Ace battery and charger combo here, and I've been using Gens Ace batteries throughout this whole video and my whole RC drifting career, and they are the wonderful battery sponsor of Team Rolling Garage, so it would only make sense to show you how to charge your batteries using their batteries and chargers, which I use regularly. So a big shout out to Gens Ace as usual. I have one of their 4,000 milliamp hour redline packs here, and the milliamp hour rating on your pack is important as it's going to determine what amperage is safe to charge your batteries at. Typically 1C or lower is the safest charge rate. 1C equals your milliamp hour rating divided by 1,000, and that's in amps. So 1C for this 4,000 redline would be 4 amps. Some batteries are labeled safe up to a 2C charge rate, charge it that high of an amperage at your discretion, but most RCers will tell you that a 1C charge rate is the acceptable charge amperage. So we'll go ahead and plug everything in. Red to positive, black to negative. The white plug will go into your balance board if applicable, and this small plug is your balance connector. Very important to have this plugged in for any battery over 1S. This allows the battery to be balance charged, ensuring that all cells charge up the same. It is very dangerous to have the cells within these batteries unbalanced. So once all that's plugged in, we can take a look at the charger. The RMRS 3 is compact, charges all sorts of battery chemistries, has tons of savable battery models, and is a great charger to take with you wherever your RC needs go. So on this charger with this battery, I'm going to highlight the battery chemistry and make sure it's set to LiPo. Now I'm going to scroll over to the charging mode. We have storage, which will charge or discharge your battery to a safe voltage to leave your battery stored at for more than a day. We have discharge, charge, and cell balance. We'll mostly only be using storage or cell balance. Then we can go to the charge amperage. Again, we're going to do 1C for the Redline 4000, so that's 4 amps. And then we're going to pick the cell count. You'll probably mostly be dealing with 2 cells for drift cars, but you can choose your applicable battery here depending on what your charger will charge up to. Once all your settings are correct, we can hold start. It'll verify your battery cell count, hit start again, and the battery will start charging. And it's always a good idea to charge in a LiPo bag. For our most commonly sold transmitter battery for the Futaba remotes, we're going to select LiFe, cell balance, and 1C on this battery would be 2.3 amps. But even if this battery was a 6000 milliamp hour, with the battery leads this small, you don't want to charge these much past 2 amps, so I charge these at 2 amps or less. Then these are 2 cell as well. Plug everything in. And then we can charge it up. The last trick I'm going to show you in this video is how to easily install magnets for a magnetic mount system on your body. Things we'll need for this method is masking tape and the magnets for your body. These will usually come with the magnetic mount kit you're using, as well as a spare set that we'll use to line up the mounts on the outside of the body. Our spare magnet set works great for this and comes with enough magnets for 2 bodies or mounting 1 body like this method will show you. These magnets were great as spares for the magnetic mount kit that I'm using, and I'm using the Wrap Up Next Flex MG mounts on the front. I love these mounts. The countersunk style magnet rides securely on the bullet style mount and can adapt to any hood angle. They're held onto the stock Yokomo size body post with body clips, and you can finally adjust the body height by screwing or unscrewing the tops if you need to between body clip holes. I'll be sure to leave links to all of the stuff that I've used in this video down in the description below. For the rears, I use these top line aluminum post style mounts that come off the back of the shock tower, and they're simple to space up if you need to with some M3 spacers and a longer screw. And these are paired with the Wrap Up Next carbon brace that adds a little side to side rigidity between the posts on this setup. So we're going to put the countersunk magnets on the Wrap Up Next mounts in front. And the rears we can leave since it already has a magnet screwed onto them, but you can put a magnet on there if you want to check your body height while mounting the magnets to the body. Now we can lay the body on. And we can use the spare magnets and stick them to the outside of the body. And these should magnetize to the exact spot of the body mounts underneath. Now we can position the body where we want to mount it. Keep in mind your wheelbase in the front and the rear, as well as making sure your front wheels have enough clearance to turn, and try to get the body as close to center as possible. Once you have that where you want it, we'll go ahead and use some tape and tape the magnets down on the outside. Now you can pull the body off, stick the spare magnets inside the body, and they should be stuck in the exact spot you want them to be in. If you back the inside of your body in black, I have this white paint pen here, and you can trace a line around the magnets on the inside of the body. This will aid you in sticking the magnets down permanently, or if they ever come off later on down the road, it'll be easy to stick them back in the exact spot again. If not, you can use a Sharpie or another color marker to mark these spots out. After you mark your spots, pull the magnets off. And now you know exactly where to put your magnets. Use whatever you prefer to stick them down with, double-side tape or glue. That about wraps it up for this tips and tricks video. Hopefully you found at least one of these useful for your RC life. This was catered to some of the more beginner issues, but hopefully it was of some value to you, whether you're brand new into RC drifting or a seasoned driver already. I'll catch you guys on the next one.